As you can see, this is a very different type of video. I have actually been requested to do this for a very, 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 very long time. People that know me already know that I'm an artist and do certain drawings, and there's some people that are just like, oh, it's really great, you should do a speed paint. I'm just like, my tablet is a really bad one. I originally had a Wacom Intuos Pro, which is a good tablet in its own right, but because it's one that doesn't have a screen, I wasn't able to see physically what my hand was doing, which is not a good thing for when I'm trying to do things in a roughly timely manner. It's actually why it took me so long to do art pieces, and I just kind of didn't feel like drawing ever. So, yeah, earlier this month, though, I did my taxes, actually got a very decent tax return, and I used most of it to buy myself a Wacom Cintiq 16. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, but that's okay. I am super duper happy with it. It's a tablet that has a screen on it. I can physically see what my hand is doing at any given moment, and it's great. And yeah, you're actually currently seeing me use that very tablet to make the art piece into a digital one. It was obviously formerly traditional. I have so many character designs that I owned and that I did a bunch of drawings for, and now I can physically show myself actually doing them and actually crank them out pretty decently. Obviously, I actually zoomed this about 20 times. It's going 20 times faster than typical, and it took me a total of about 5 hours to do, which with the old tablet, I would not be anywhere near done. So I'm super excited. But because I don't want to blab on just about that, I'm going to actually talk about some non-goth confessions, because that's a thing that happens. I apologize in advance for making that kind of thing. It's actually very common to see goth people make these kind of videos to confess it. It's practically a cliche at this point, so fun. And rather than avoiding doing it because we've already beaten it into your skulls that goth people aren't all goth all the time, the stereotype still seems to exist for us, and I'm gonna just add to the pot. So the premise is really basic. Tell you 10 things about me that would make even the tryhards tell me that my goth card is revoked, though let's be honest, I have more than 10 things that make me un-goth. You guys go, hey, that's neat, or I don't really care, Val, and we move on to other things, so, you know, fun. I actually kind of have this scripted technically, but I'm not the best at reading, so great. I do a lot of ums and other such random tangents, and I kind of want to avoid that, but again, despite being scripted, I'm actually already improving because I'm not the best at reading. I'm really, really, really bad. But anyway, enough of that. We're going to go into the un-goth confessions now. Number 1. I have a borderline unhealthy obsession of plushies. I mean, yeah, some of them are from spooky franchises and so on, but almost a third of my current plushies are actually of Eeyore, and I have a china cabinet currently filled with plushies instead of, well, china. If I was rich, I would have a house built where at least 1, maybe 2 rooms would just be plushies, no joke. If you guys want to see what plushies I do have, let me know in the comments, and I'll make a video in the future to show them all. Sadly, I don't have the space needed to expand beyond what I already have now, but sometimes I get a new one anyway, and I don't care. Number 2. I still watch Power Rangers to this day. Granted, I don't watch everything they ever created or anything, but I still think some of them were extremely entertaining and well written, and I'm willing to die on that hill. Time Force and SPD are my absolute favorites that I've watched, but In Space and Lost Galaxy are also very well received. I wouldn't know, I actually personally haven't watched them. Ninja Storm, Mystic Force, and Samurai/Super Samurai are kind of guilty pleasures of mine. They're not the greatest, but that's okay. I go on about why, or I would go on about why I love them and such, but I have 8 more points to add here, so let's just move on. Number 3. I'm a bit of a Harry Potter nerd. Yes, I know J.K. Rowling has come under fire in the recent years for making various transphobic statements and so on, and it's very unfortunate, but I just can't hate the Harry Potter franchise. I really can't. They were the first books I ever remember reading almost entirely on my own. I used to read with my mom as a small kid, and we'd discuss what would happen in each chapter, so on. But this franchise, aside from the last book, was actually the first one that I tried reading on my own. I cheated a little bit with the 7th book. After a few years of being employed and everything, currently at Walmart, I ended up getting Audible and got the entire series. I just got all of it and went through with the audiobooks. If you have Audible and want to listen to the Harry Potter books, I don't remember the name of the guy who reads them, but oh my god, it's amazing. So, yeah, anyway. I own the physical copies of the books. I own the entire set of movies. I actually also have the Fantastic Beast movies, but I haven't watched them yet, so don't spoil anything, please. And it was just something that I kind of grew up liking, and some of my favorite characters are from it. I actually have a fucking replica of Snape's wand, so, you know, fun. Oh, and I do have a replica Marauders map, but I digress. Number 4, I have almost no experience with Gothic literature as far as I know. I mean, yeah, I own some Gothic literature. Examples are Bram Stoker's Dracula, which I actually used Audible to listen to. I have Edgar Allan Poe's works, and if Shakespeare counts, I have that too. But a lot of them I am either unsure of or have had to have it broken down for me. Shakespeare and Poe, obviously unavoidable, like, who hasn't had to deal with that in school? In terms of, Dracula, again, I cheated, I used Audible, but the wording for that is really... it's a bit too difficult for me. I don't have the greatest reading comprehension, so physically reading is usually a bit difficult for me, especially when it's Gothic literature. Number 5. I very much like collecting dolls. If you hear a weird noise in the background, I'm sorry, just breaking off right now. I'm currently doing laundry, and it's a really weird setup. I don't know why it's so loud, but anyway. Back to the thing. So, why I like collecting dolls? I know there are creepy and gothy dolls, but those aren't really the ones I actually super go for. The gothiest ones I do have are Monster High dolls, which are considered gothy a lot of the time, but I do like cuter things as well. I avoid Barbie, typically. They're usually boring and generic these days. I don't really care for them. But there's like these Rainbow High ones. There's Bratz. There's Ever After High, and a few other ones. I want to try and expand from that. I'm not there yet, but, you know, it's fine. I typically go for more stylized anatomy than, like, the basic ones, so if you look at how the dolls are set up for Monster High and Rainbow High, and apparently I'm into all the ones that say that they're like high school ones. I just noticed that. That's crazy. But anyway, random break off here. This list is actually really hard to do, because now that I want to talk about non-goth things, I think of only goth things. You have no idea how long it took me to come up with this list, which is why I actually typed it out to begin with, because otherwise I'd be a stuttering moron. Anyway, back to the topics. Number 6. A lot of my favorite movies are absolutely not goth. Not even slightly. I love a ton of Disney movies, which are mostly not goth. And then there's other movies like Babe, Mouse Hunt, Rise of the Guardians, How to Train Your Dragon. If you don't like that, then you are a very bad person. Megamind. And I even have a collection of movies that are dumb as hell, but I still love them to a degree anyway. Examples include Zoolander and the Power Rangers movies, actually, including the 2017 one. It isn't as bad as people say it is. I could go on, but there's too many movies I want to talk about. We'd be here forever, so let's just get going on to the next point. Number 7. You know those Pikes and Winklepicker boots that a lot of goth people like? Yeah, I'm not a fan. If you like them, then cool. It's perfectly fine. But don't expect my ass to even bother with those for my looks. Add all the buckles and gothy details you want, I'm never getting those pointy-toed elf shoes, and that's the end of it, sis. Number 8. I used to be a massive Sailor Moon fan as a kid, and it really showed. Don't believe me? I'm going to include a picture of 5-year-old me wearing an entire Sailor Moon outfit, even the shoes. And I went to school wearing this outfit as well. I don't remember when or why I dropped up from loving the series. I was so full force into it that I still remember the theme song to this day. But I may yet pick it back up, as I never did get through everything regarding it. The voice acting is a bit cringy, regardless of what language you're looking at. I mean, Tiny Me did only have the English dub, so that's probably the worst exposure, but that's okay. Yeah, anyway. Number 9. I already mentioned this in my stereotype video, but I will say it again. A lot of my favorite music isn't goth or even goth related. I actually love a lot of pop music, and I have that saved on my Spotify. I got Destiny's Child, Britney Spears, Aqua, and many more. Hell, I even like the Backstreet Boys, so whatever. I have multiple other non-goth genres and bands as well, but yeah. Actually, my favorite non-goth song is Satellite by Lena, which is a song that you can actually dance to on the Just Dance game. Yes, I do plan to learn that dance, thank you very much. And finally, number 10. I am actually a massive scaredy cat, at least if we're looking at video games. I mentioned being a big horror fan, and trust me, I am. But the thing is, in movies, I can easily manage it because they have a definitive beginning, middle, and end, and everything is telegraphed to play a specific way. And American horror is garbage usually, and relies on gore and jump scares to be scary. It's not that great, so whatever. Asian horror is so much better. Fight me for that. But with video games, I am in control of the fate of the character. Yes, there's still a definitive story and such, but I have to put the effort in to keep them alive to that point. So I've never been able to legitimately beat a horror game, and even spaz out when watching other people play horror games. And with my intention of trying to play games like Amnesia, The Dark Descent, and Outlast, to have people laugh at my stupid faces and such once I can afford a computer that can actually run those games, I'm expecting my lifespan to severely shorten by that point. And that's the end of it. It was painfully hard to get this all done, let me tell you. I literally was thinking of every goth thing possible, almost as if my brain didn't want me to show my un-goth traits. But no real goth is 100% goth all the time. Myself especially, because everything in the list, and so much more. The only people who are, in my opinion, are tryhards that are insecure and have something to prove. But that's just how I see it. So whatever. What do you guys think of this video, and of my drawing? What are your un-goth confessions? Let me know in the comments below. Subscribe and hit the bell for more content from me. Comment your un-goth confessions below, or comment to call me a lemon or something, I don't know. And if you have suggestions of goth or non-goth things that you'd like me to cover, I am all ears. Like, really, there's so much that I could try doing, and I do have many plans, especially now that I can actually do speed paints of stuff. I have actually about 60 plus drawings that I need to do. It's kind of embarrassing, but... And that's not even all the characters that I have, so that's gonna be even more fun. But, sorry, I'm really bad at this. I actually am already done the script. I've read that way faster than I was expecting. The video actually isn't even done. But, yeah, I apologize for not actually doing a video with my face. My face is currently, like, breaking out like you wouldn't believe, and all this other nonsense, so I just didn't really want to show my face dissolving into fucking lasagna. It's not a very attractive look. Dang masks. But, yeah, and I wanted to make a video so much sooner, but I was having issues with a lot of things. I had, like, meltdowns and anxiety attacks, like, all last week. It was kind of embarrassing, but oh well. Things happen. So, yeah, see you guys later.